Good afternoon. My name is Juan Mariscal. I'm the chairman of the Bristol County Water Authority, and tonight we're holding our annual meeting. It's 5 o'clock on Thursday, May 29th, and I'm calling the meeting to order. Our first item on the agenda is the presentations of awards to Rhode Island State Science Fair winners. As many of you know, Bristol County Water has been participating in the Rhode Island Science Fair for many, many years, and we typically give out special awards to students that do projects related to drinking water from Bristol County. And we usually have two divisions, one a junior division and a senior division. Unfortunately, this year there were no water projects in the senior division, but we do have two winners in the junior division. We have them with us tonight, and they're going to give us a little bit of a presentation on their project and trying to smarten us up a little bit, I guess. So first, and I won't be making a mistake, but both young ladies are named Elise tonight. So I had to read that twice. The first person coming up will be Elise Ahmed, and both of the young ladies are from St. Luke's School of Barrington. So Elise, whenever you're set.
Hi, my name is Elise Ahmed, and I did my project on irrigation and water conservation, and I tested to see if hydrogels, which are a gel-like substance which can absorb and retain water, I tested to see if they could conserve water in agriculture and help out instead of wasting water using irrigation methods. Because traditional irrigation methods are major causes of water loss in our environment today, but there are several alternatives such as hydrogels, and they absorb water for a period of time and release it into the environment, and then they'll eventually absorb it again, and it's really helpful and important, and it can help conserve lots of water. The reason why I investigated this topic is because I came across methods of traditional irrigation, and I researched ways to reduce the amount of water wasted, and I became interested in biodegradable hydrogels and want to test how they can conserve water in agriculture. For this experiment, I created 3 pots with radish seeds. I had pot A, which included a hydrogel and fertilizer, pot B was just the hydrogel, and pot C was the control pot, which had no hydrogel or fertilizer. I recorded the moisture levels each day, and I tested to see which one would work the best in conserving the most amount of water, and my graphs show that data. And in the end, pot B ended up conserving the most water, which shows that hydrogels can be effective and can be used in agriculture, which can significantly change and help reduce the amount of wastewater.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's not good for us, though. We don't sell enough water.
Elise, do you know, is the hydrogel being used commercially in any parts of the world or country?
They are very popular, but some agricultural farmers do use them. I've researched.
Where did you get hydrogels from?
I made them out of
You made
agar
them?
powder and citric acid.
Okay.
Out of what?
Agar powder and citric acid.
So she's a chemist, too.
Give her a job.
And we have a token of our appreciation here for you. Thank you very much.
Just like school.
And next we have Elise D'Souza. Also, as I mentioned, she's from St. Luke's School in Barrington.
Turn it for him.
I can't see your name, I don't have my glasses.
Is that good?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, much better, thank you.
Okay, so good afternoon. My project is PFAS contamination in our water supply. PFAS, otherwise known as forever chemicals in our environment, are made up of products like plastic, heat-resistant products, and many other items out there today. When ingested, it causes many health issues in humans such as cancer, obesity, and neurological issues. There are over 12,000 different types of PFAS, and I tested for the 6 most common types, such as PFOS, PFOA, PFHXS, PFNA, PFHPA, and PFDA. I also tested 3 main water sources, such as well water, municipal water, and surface water. My hypothesis was that well water would contain the highest levels of PFAS because the water sits, allowing more chemicals to seep into it, while the other 2, municipal and surface, kind of get sort of filtered out by either a water filter plant or the environment itself. My hypothesis was supported by the results of my data, with well water having 12.2 parts per trillion, surface having 8.82 parts per trillion, and municipal water having 4.9 parts per trillion. As I tested, there was nothing too concerning about the results of my data, besides these 2, which didn't really go over their acceptable parts per trillion. As you can see, it ranges from 4.0 parts per trillion to 10.0 parts per trillion. There's nothing too alarming or anything in the water. So, that's good. Any questions?
How much time do you spend putting this together?
It took about maybe an hour with my dad's help, to put everything together.
No, I don't mean the book, I mean on the research.
Oh, the data itself? Probably like 30 to 45 minutes, depending.
She knows how to use a computer. Very good.
Where did you test the water? How did you test the water?
How
Yeah.
I tested the water? I tested it with a Novatech kit that my father got from his job.
Does he know? Big dad's around. That's very good. Very good.
Okay.
Thank you.
And we have another appreciation.
Thank you.
Now, we're expecting great things from the 2 of you in the future. We want to see your names in the paper on a regular basis for very good things. So congratulations and good luck with the future.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, girls.
Thank you.
Nice job, really great job. Thanks, Mom. There you are.
Yeah.
The next item on the agenda, I'll turn it over to to John Janito to handle and go through the process, the nominations and elections of officers.
Mr. Chairman, at this time, I'd like to place in nomination the name of Juan Maris Hill to continue as our chairman of the Bristol County Water Authority.
I'd like to second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And who would vote against that?
I guess you could, if you wanted.
Any nays? Thank you very much.
Mr. Chairman, at this time, I'd like to put a name in nomination of Thomas Craig for vice chairman.
Second?
Make a motion nominations be closed.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr.
at this time, I'd like to place in name of Stephen No, Stephen. Christopher Stanley as secretary treasurer. Oh, God.
Rich, check his pulse.
Chris Stanley for secretary.
I'll second that.
Motion nomination to be closed.
Second.
All those in favor of the nomination of Chris Stanley to be treasurer secretary, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Okay, thank you very much, everybody. Looking forward to the next year. I think there's a lot of new stuff that we're going to be getting into. And I see this year as being a very exciting one. So, let's see how it goes. Designations of committees. We're going to have some changes. And let's see if I frame my notes. The Finance Committee is going to stay the same with Chris Stanley, Steve Gross, and Rich Fornia. Steve is the chair.
Thank you.
And the Personnel Committee, Personnel Compensation Committee, John has been the chair of that. I'm on that committee, and Steve Gross is on that committee. And the Policy and Procedures Committee, Bob Martin and Bill Gosselin were on that, and they will remain on that. And we're adding Dave Fales to the Policies and Procedures. No, wait a minute, Tom Craig is on that. That committee is staying the same. Sorry about that. Got arrows here, no? The chair of that is who is the chair? Tom, right? Yes. Yes. And the Properties Committee, Dave Fales is going to that committee. Steve Gross will no longer be the chair or on that committee. Chris Stanley remains on the Properties Committee, and Bob Martin's going to be the chair. And those are the committees. One of the things that I noticed, and I have to do a little bit more research and discussion with board members and the director, is I noticed in the distant past, not too distant past, that there was another committee. And that committee was, it might not have been named, it was basically the Engineering, Operations and Construction Committee. And I think we have a lot of projects that go on in that area, and it seems curious that that committee no longer exists, so I'm going to have to figure out why that happened.
Where did you see that committee?
I saw that committee in minutes of meetings from, I'm going to say about 5 years ago.
I don't know.
Well, I saw it. But I
Maybe more than 5. I don't know.
Well, in any case, there was one in the past, and I think with the number of projects that we have ongoing, I think it would be a good idea to add an additional committee, but I'm not ready to do that this time. As I said, I want to research it a little bit further to see why it dissolved at some point. And maybe its primary purpose had been the pipeline, and once the pipeline was done, maybe that's how it went into hibernation or something. But we'll check that out. So, the next item on the agenda is adjournment to go into the regular meeting.
Motion to adjourn. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you very much.